All right, we're going to get straight to it. We're going to get straight to it. Let me go ahead and share my screen. We're going to start there so y'all can see what I'm seeing. You can't see what I can see. You're blind, baby. You're blind to the fact. All right. Where we at? Mama say, mama sa, mama kusa. All right. Audio should be good. And the screen should be up, so y'all should be able to see the screen also. Let me shoot to the comments so I can make sure that you guys can hear me. So you're giving me a sound check. Is the audio good? Yes. Not breaking up. None of that. No issues. If so, I'll continue. If not, you already know. Let me know. Where we at? There we go. All right, so we good. All right, so we're gonna do some market observation. Market observation on deck. I want to talk as we go into the close for this week. It's Friday right now. The time is 3:20, and we're really like at the end of the week, and we're also at the end of today's trading session. I would like to talk about the energy in the market. Throughout this observation, you'll see me moving around like these arrows. See this down arrow here, you see this up arrow here. I'll be putting them in various places because I want to kind of zoom in on some points regarding the energy in the market and the stability of the market. This is going to help to elevate our understanding. If you're new to TeamAlliance, this is your first time watching, make sure that when you guys come on, you like the video, you share the video, turn on your bell notifications, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're on Facebook, follow the TeamAlliance page and like and share the video, and also turn the bell on the TeamAlliance page when you follow the page to ensure that you get notifications. If you're on Twitter, make sure that you retweet. All right? Make sure, like, share, all of that stuff. When we're observing the market, you guys are aware by now that this box means something. The box basically is isolating the distance between two strike prices. If you're new to NADEX, if you're new to TeamAlliance, peruse through this channel on YouTube, familiarize yourself with NADEX and also with TeamAlliance in the way that we observe and trade the market, because it will change your life when you understand it. This is something that is life-changing as far as our ability in the market to produce profits, which ultimately leads to earning power, income, cash flow, dinero, right? Whatever you want to call it. Cream, bread. It's a lot of names for money, right? The bag. The importance of what I'm teaching you is it will lead to you getting the bag. Bottom line is that when you trade any market, in order for you to be successful long term, you have to be profitable in the short term. It means your trades have to win. Your trades have to be profitable, period. So even if you're not aware or you don't fully understand what we're doing, I don't know what NADEX is. Go to nadex.com, NADEX.com. Educate yourself. A lot of information on their homepage. They got plenty of educational content that will get you up to speed on what the platform is and what it offers. Now, what we trade specifically on the platform are 5-minute binary options. That's what we're looking at now on the screen. We're also looking at the market itself. The underlying market that we're observing is the euro dollar or the euro USD. This is the Forex pair that the binaries we trade are based on. Okay. NADEX makes it possible for us to use our knowledge of the market and capitalize by basically earning profits on our trades when we do trade. All right. And that's it in a nutshell as far as what we do. So what I'm going to be talking about in this observation, I want to talk about stability. I want to talk about energy in the market. Energy. Movement has energy behind it. The more energy behind a move, the further a move will go. Make sense? It's simple physics. Something with more thrust goes farther, goes deeper. I know my wordplay is crazy. If you got more thrust, you go deeper. Let me stop. You guys get the point, though. If there's more power behind movement, the move will go further. Like if you push something with more force, it goes further. It will travel farther, right? Yeah, this is what I was trying to avoid, but the wordplay was crazy. Shout out to me for the wordplay, though. But anyway, so if you look at the way the market moves, the market just like right now, for example, you see how the market is not moving that much. What this means is that the energy currently present is not the thrust energy that I was making reference to. It's not the forceful energy that many times you will often see present. The market is dynamic, however. What does that mean? It changes. So it will go from one type of energy to another type of energy within what we call time. So in other words, when we're observing, we'll say, how long has it been presenting what it is showing to us right now? How long has the energy been what it is now? That's a question. We are asking that because we know that the energy is present. So right now, there's quiet energy present. What does that lead to? It leads to the environment that we see, which is what? A slow moving environment, right? The slower that things move, the easier it is for you to see if the movement is stable. Now, what do I mean by stable? In other words, when it moves somewhere, does it stay there in that quiet energy? This is going to be good. Y'all stick with me. Is it going to remain in the quiet energy that it's in? So market's moving. It's going here, it's going there. Question is, how is it moving? Y'all hold on. Let me change my headphones. Hold on. All right, I had to switch my headphones. The other ones died. So, as I was saying, question becomes, how is the movement? After each movement, Mark, what do you mean? The market's moving all the time. The question is, how is it moving? When you answer how is it moving, then you can answer how far is it moving. If quiet energy is present, we can easily measure how far it's moving. Quiet energy is how it's moving. Y'all with me? Stay with me. Stay with me. This is going to be so elevating for you guys. Quiet energy is how it's moving. When you know that, you'll know how far it's moving. How do we know how far it's moving? We call it a range. Stay with me. Stay with me. When the market is in a range, we know that there's quiet energy present. And the range I'm referring to is a range with less distance in it. So, for example, the range that you currently see, which is indicated by all of the candles inside of the green box. If you look here, you see all of these candles are in the box, for one. And if you zoom in, I can take the biggest candle in here, and all of the other candles will fit inside of that one. So, for example, this red one here in the middle, that's the biggest candle out of all of these candles, right? The candles to the left fit inside of that, and the candles to the right fit inside of it. So I can easily see that this is the range. That distance, that amount of movement, the market is not exceeding that amount of movement on each move. Each of these candles is a 1 minute period. So if you look at how long this has been happening for, from 3:20 until right now, which is 3:32, is 12 minutes. For the last 12 minutes, the market has been in the range of this red candle. Got me? This is how we identify quiet energy. Range, that's quiet energy. Now, once you are aware that the quiet energy is present, the dominance of that quiet energy will determine how long the quiet energy remains for. I'll give y'all an example. I'm going to go back a little bit because I want to show y'all something crazy. And it was, this whole period right here. Let me just duplicate this box so I can have the exact top to bottom measurement. But if you look at this whole box, what I'm about to pull over to the right, watch this. You see that? Quiet energy. How long was quiet energy present for? This went on from 1:53 p.m. until I'll say 2:50. So literally almost an hour. For almost an entire hour, the market had quiet energy as indicated by a range. For an hour, the market was inside of the box. For an hour, the market was inside in between the entire distance of two strike prices from top to bottom for an hour. Look at what happens when the market decided to not be quiet no more. What did it do? You started seeing the thrust. Watch this. So if I put this here, this was the thrust that broke out of this range, or I should say out of this box, because it actually started on this candle right here. This was the first candle where you saw a more powerful move, right? That movement took it out of this box. And then you started to see the movement shift. And when it shifted, it came here, ranged again. Came over here, started to thrust, right? Pay attention. And this is lining up with the arrow that I have here. There's a reason that I have the arrow there. The reason that that arrow was there is because I want to point something out to you as far as stability. Now, what do you hear me say about the first indication of stability? What is it? Range. So if we know the market has been in a range for an hour, we know that what is present? We know that stability is present. So even when the market thrusts and changes its positions, which it did multiple times, it did it here, came over here, started to range again, and then it did it here again, thrusted, and it changed into another position. And the reason that I'm pointing this out and the reason that I have an arrow here is because this represents how the market will be stable, and when it changes positions, it creates a new box. Or I should say, it creates a new position for the box. What do I mean by that? Well, look at what happened here. Look at this arrow and look at this candle, which is basically just continuation of the thrust. You had thrust here, and now you're in this box, which we're still in. Just look. Look, I'm going to stretch it over so you can see. I know what I'm talking about. We're still in the same box right now. Still right now. Y'all see that? So what this is helping you to see is how the energy of the market and the stability of the market makes it very easy to see where the box is going to be and then what's going to happen when the market repositions. Until the market decides to thrust out of a box or out of an area that it's been in, and it repositions itself into a new one with the thrust, because that energy is basically a shift. It's not a shift of energy. It's a shift of position. The same energy that you had back here, which is quiet energy, came right over here and started to manifest here again. The same quiet energy in the box. Y'all are with me? What I'm doing, I'm digging deeper into the last market observation that I did, or it might have been the coffee and charts, whatever one it was, where I talked about this. I talked about position change. And what happens when you are aware of this is you never look at these big candles the wrong way, because you already know what the energy is in the market that is present. See, when the right energy is present, which is the quiet energy, the thrust energy, that right there is what will simply reposition the market into another box. Or basically it will relocate the box, because all I'm doing really is taking the same box and just moving it. I'm moving it to where the new position is. You'll see, if you look at this, just look at what happened. When the market thrusted, into the box, it has not come back out of the box underneath yet, has it? Nope. It's been in the box the whole time. And if you look at that, it's like, well, damn, why is it still in the box? Well, the quiet energy was present, and it still is. You had it here for an hour. You have the continuation of it right here where we are right now. It's still here. Now, what does distance play? Distance. The role of distance when you're looking at the box is also something that I want to elaborate on. The reason that the parameters are what they are is because they have incorporated distance away from the strike price. Distance that would mean that there's a buffer or a cushion between where the market is and where the strike is. So just in case the market decides to travel, it still won't travel outside of the buffer area, which we call what? The barrier. You're following me? So what happens is when the market now is in the box becomes the barrier, meaning that the top of the box is the barrier for the top, bottom of the box is the barrier for the bottom. And the real barrier is wherever the candles are and then the space between the candles and the strike. So for example, if I zoom in right where we are now, you see how these candles are touching the box? We know that there's nothing to do when the market is positioned like this because the market is too close to the strike. What's that called? Distance. Market does not have enough what? Distance. Away from what? The strike. See? So when the market doesn't have enough distance, you'll just see it going back, forth, back, forth, back, forth, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. It's going over and under the strike, which is called the what? Coin flip. And this is why we don't ever incorporate this behavior and this type of positioning in what we do. It automatically will disqualify. Now, look, let's watch this. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to put this here. And let's just look at this right now because I want to see if there's any thrust behind this move. So far, it's not looking like it. But I'm hoping that it does do it so we have an example before the market closes. Hoping that it does do it. So we're going to just observe. Let me get my arrow from back here. All right, duplicate that. All right, cool. Now, watch this. Look at this. Do y'all see right now where the position of the market is? What's the distance from the strike? Right now, it's 5 micropips away, right? Even with not a lot of thrust, the fact that the market has now repositioned outside of this box now moves the box up here. And look at what the market's doing right now. Now, I want to give clarity on why it's moving how you see it moving. You see how it's just moving and it's kind of just staying there, moving, staying there. You see that? And I'll actually put this here. And even though this is not the thrust that I wanted to see, it still represents a part of the repositioning of the box. And let me get this arrow out of here. Hold on. But I want, because see, and when you go back and rewatch this, you'll see how powerful this is. The reason that the market is staying in the box, because watch this. This was at 342, which was 2 minutes ago. as soon as I saw this, I knew that it would stay in this box. Even now, you see this red candle? This red candle ain't gonna go underneath the box. It's gonna stay in the box. It's gonna stay in here. And this is so powerful because this is gonna help you to understand the dynamic of what we're doing. You saw that? So that red candle stayed in there? It stayed positioned in the box. Now, why? Why was that the case? Well, let's look at the movement. If you look here on this candle, the market positioned itself into a new box. So instead of being back here underneath, and really it was kind of just hugging this strike price up until this point. Once it got here and it made the decision that it wanted to clear the strike, that's exactly what it did. Stayed above the strike. Clearly, it didn't touch the strike again. It's touching the strike right now, actually, for the first time. But during these three candles, didn't touch the strike. You had the position, the reposition here. Then you had the follow through here on the next candle, this one. And if you look at this, look at how it looks. Solid candle, clean. Even the red candle is clean. Although the red candle was coming back towards the strike. And even though the red candle came back towards the strike, it still didn't come down to the strike. So what I'm doing is I'm showing you guys behavior. This is behavior. See, when you understand these energies that I'm making reference to, when I talk about the quiet energy, and I'm using different words and I'm using different terminology because I'm really giving meaning to it now. Okay. Quiet energy, the thrust. There's another type of energy that I call reversal energy, which is where you'll see thrust, but it's not stable, meaning that the moves go one direction, then they come back in the opposite direction just as strong as they went in the first direction. Reversal energy. Quiet energy, thrust energy, reversal energy. Reversal energy becomes very obvious when you see the market move with thrust and don't stay there. It moves and it doesn't stay, it comes back, creates a wick. That's that reversal energy that I'm referring to. When that is not present, you'll have thrust and you'll have quiet energy. And just pay attention to what I'm saying, because when you catch this, it's going to help you understand position changes and the difference between position changes and everything else that you see. See, position change is not just a big candle. And a position change that has thrust in it, it actually repositions you well into the box. Well into the box. And the way that you see all of this is by just simply moving the box. Like, watch this. I'm going to move the box. As soon as I move the box here, only one candle in the box right now. And that's all I would want to see, is that one candle. And I also want you to pay attention that this candle here repositioned the market in this box down here. And because of the behavior that we have right now, the market's going to stay in the box. Because the quiet energy is present, the market's going to stay in the box. Look at the time. 23 seconds left. Look at the market. Just look at it. Just look at how it's moving. It's going to stay in the box. So it's not that I have a crystal ball and I'm predicting, oh man, he knows exactly where the market's going. It's not that I know where the market's going. I know where the market is. And I also know what the behavior is. Uh-oh. So you see how me going through this is just further shedding light on all of the things that you should never, ever be doing and the things that you should focus your energy and your attention on. Position changes are actually very powerful. Sometimes people will look at a position change as something that they're scared of. They'll say, oh man, well, the market can just move out of nowhere and, go on the other side of your strike. Absolutely. But you need to be able to recognize what it means when it does that. Hold on. You need to be able to recognize what it means when it does that. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. Just based on what I've been talking about so far, right? And where you guys are seeing the market right now. With as much time as you see on the clock, do you think that the market will stay in this box right now until the end of this binary? You got 3 minutes and 30 seconds left. Do you believe that the market will stay in this box by the time this clock runs out? Yes or no? And just type yes or no in the chat, whatever chat that you're on. Do you believe that the market will stay in this green box? See or no? And what we'll do, and this is powerful. Watch this. Look at what Antonio said. That's the key. This is the key. So when you say yes, and I say, well, why? Why are you saying yes? This is the answer. That's the answer. And what is the current behavior? I want you guys to answer that. What is the current behavior? What is the current behavior? What is the current energy? What is the current energy in the market? And these are the responses. Phil Drake says the current behavior is stable. Ron Carter, ranging. Ray Young, stable. Angel, moving whole. Sherilyn, stable, slow. The energy present, what's the energy? Just the energy we got right now. Quiet energy. Latoya says slow moving environment. Yep. And not just slow moving environment, stable behavior. See, the market can be slow and not be stable yet also. And this is why I want to emphasize stability. The emphasis is on stability. Chip says smooth and quiet. Yep. That's the energy. Sherilyn, quiet. Mario says contained behavior. Mario, elaborate on that. What do you mean by that? I just want to be sure with what you're saying. I also saw something that Shani had typed a minute ago. I'm gonna go back to, because this is the reason I'm doing so much digging into this in particular, like just elaborating on this. This is why I'm doing this. Look at this. He said, I'll be waiting for the after position change for additional confirmation. What is he saying? What is he talking about? You'll see where I put the arrows. What do the arrows represent? The arrows represent position changes. Look, position changes. So at the inception of the position change is a great time to recognize that you have quiet energy and ranging going on already. So now when the position changes, the continuation of that takes place. Right? Just like up here, even as short-lived as it was, when we talked about this, go back on this same recording and rewind. When we were here, where I put this arrow, we were looking at this in real time. And I said, market is positioning itself up here in a new box. Even with the red candle, it's going to stay in the box. That wasn't a prediction. That wasn't a coin flip. That was understanding that this behavior is already in the market. So knowing that you have this behavior present, you know what to expect from what? A position change. See? You know what to expect from a position change. So you're not looking at position changes the same way anymore. Some of y'all used to be scared of position changes. Oh, market could pop on you, man. And just out of nowhere, just go on the other side of the strike. It's okay if it does that, if you're aware of the energy. If you understand the energy present, the market can do that. And when it does do that, you'll know what's happening. You'll know it's repositioning itself. Repositioning itself where? In a new box. See? And it's how you stay out of everything that could potentially jam you up. Understanding this, all this is elevation of what you are already being trained to do. That's all this is. I'm not even talking about nothing different. I'm also helping you understand the role that time plays. And I'm actually going to elaborate more on that next week. The role of time. See? Because there are times where the market can be in an existing position, and if your timing is wrong, you could be in the market when the market repositions. That's time. That's timing. See? So if you're in the market at the wrong time, it's the same as if you were in the market when the market wasn't stable. Whoa. Whoa. So we got to understand the role of time. This is why I give you tools such as the last minute of the binary. That's a tool. See? Last minute of the binary in our parameters is a rule, but it's actually a tool. It's a tool. It helps you to understand timing. But remember, and I forgot where it was. Was it here? Yeah, matter of fact, yeah, it was here. When I asked you guys just now, when this box moved, when we first put this arrow here, and I asked you, I said, hey, is the market going to stay in the box? When I asked you, there was 3.5 minutes left on the binary. 3.5 minutes. So when you're looking at it, it's like, whoa, man, that's too early to enter. It is too early to enter when you don't understand time. See, when you don't understand the role of time combined with the quiet energy, with stability, ranging. See, when you don't understand all of this, position change. When you start putting the pieces together, you begin to understand why stuff happens. So it's not a question of if, it's why. Just like when I asked y'all, and I said, hey, y'all think do y'all believe that this is going to stay in the box? And then my next question was why? Because I already knew that you were going to say yes. My next question was why? Why do you believe it's going to stay in the box? And your answer was stability. Then I asked, well, what energy is present? You said quiet energy. Elevation. Elevation. So I wanted to go over this before we close the week out, because next week I'm going to go more into time. You know, one of the things that I have seen people do, and I think that somebody actually posted a recording today, and they entered into a trade early. Now, if you do that, why did you do that? See, you cannot say, oh well, I thought or I felt. That can't be the answer to that question. And because we don't operate with feeling, you should just simply not violate the rules, the parameters. The parameters are what keep your feelings in check. Parameters keep your feelings in check. All right, let me come in the comments real quick before we close it out. Shawnee said the TA elevation is continuous. The gift that keeps giving. And Antonio, new box to be established equals position change. Yes, when you have stability present. The first indication of stability is what you'll see manifest when that is the case, which is what? Range. And this right here is what I was going to elaborate on when I said, well, why would you enter early? See? Why would you enter early? Look at this response. You won't get caught in a position change if you don't deviate. So instead of trying to figure out if you can enter earlier, because that's not the objective. The objective is understanding how early can you recognize stability. Whoa. How early can you recognize that a position change is going to remain where it is? Mm-hmm. Not how early can you take the trade. Whoa. See, I'm not giving clarity to give you permission to enter early. That's not what this is about. But it is about understanding why the market is doing what it's doing and how early you saw it. Shani's saying if you hopped on the charts and just saw a position change, you definitely need to observe for further clarity. Can't jump out the window. Correct. That is correct. Correct. I mean, you should never do anything right away if you just came on the chart anyway. So I would just say that that's the case, period. If you just got here, you need to relax because you don't even know what's actually going on in the market until you watch it. So you can't go back and look at the candles and know. You can get an idea. Now, when I went back and I drew this box, I looked at this for an hour. So I saw this for an hour. I noted this happened. That's why when I went back on the chart and put this box there, I saw this as it happened. I didn't put this here because I went back and saw that these candles look like this. You're following me? I was watching the market at this time, so I know what this was, right? That's the difference. This is Don DeMarco right here. Don DeMarco. Don DeMarco. And see, I knew that this was coming. Phil is asking, you're saying it's okay to get in early in a stable, quiet market. No. No, I'm not. The roll of time. And yes, the ROLE of time. Like the job of time. Well, what is the job of time? What is time's job in this equation? And Kenneth, I know that you had entered that trade accidentally. And you also said, why was it okay, if I'm not mistaken? Right? Matter of fact, let me go back to the comments so I can see exactly what you said. Because I don't like to not be accurate. Let me just read what you said. Let me see. Yeah, you said, you had said, what was my mistake and why did it come out all right? So you were confident that it would be all right. Why? See, that's the next question. Why were you confident it would be okay? Because if you entered into a trade accidentally, you would try to get out of the trade if you were not confident in being in the trade, period. Anybody in their natural mind would try to get out if they were not comfortable being in the market at that time. And yes, this is the answer. It was very stable, but you have to be more refined in your understanding of it. And that's why we continue to train all the time. That's why I do this. Just like right now, when I talk about quiet energy, it's like, oh shit, is that something new? No, it's not new. To us, that ain't new. I'm just using the terminology to give you an association for what it is that you're actually seeing. You know what thrust means. It means push. But what happens when the push was just that? It was a push and it stayed in there. The candle moved into the box and it stayed in there. What does the candle represent? This is the question right here. It's one word. What does the candle represent on the chart? I'm waiting for y'all to respond to that. And this is 100% right here as I'm waiting. Yeah, demo was not for practicing at all. We use that for paper trading purposes and just for understanding the platform with more precision. Let me repeat the question again. What does the candle on the chart represent? Maui Jeff says 1 minute of time. Correct. Elaborate. Chip says movement. Elaborate. Elaborate. The candle on the chart represents what? Let me rephrase it. Any candle on the chart represents what? Here we go. I'm going to take out of this the answer. It's 2 words. The market. The candle is the visual representation of what? The market. Here we go. Visual representation. That's right. Of the market. When you see the candle, it represents what the market did. Yes. In real time, right now, the candle represents the market. So every time we look at the candles, we're looking at what? The market. So when I say the market pushed, thrust into the box, when I'm saying the candle repositioned into the box, what am I saying? I'm saying that the market not only went into the box, and the box represents the area between the 2 strikes. That's all it is. The market went into the area between the 2 strikes and stayed there. Listen to me. This right here gonna be a mic drop. Just because the market changed position does not mean that the market changed behavior. I'll see y'all next week.